All right, to handicap three game. One of the few I might add that actually took advantage of my way of giving handicap, which means you can play three stones anywhere you want instead of just the traditional handicap. I kind of like it. It does put me took advantage of my way. I kind of like it because it does put me in different scenarios where I have to deal with on a different start. I've done this multiple times when I play AI. I have done this multiple times when I play against the AI. It does work okay for the most part. I think I better do this right now, just to not deal with stuff. I do find handicap games to be quite a bit more difficult than regular games. I mean, these for me, even though like it's only handicap 3 to 7Q, like I often don't win these games because I'm not a very good handicap player. I'm not really good at eking out advantages. I think if it were me, I would have probably played 018. But that's definitely more of a me thing. I don't know if that was the best play, actually. I'm fairly certain this is not the right play for him. Um, Despite this not being the right play for him, I actually don't know how to play this right. I do actually think it's either R6 or P3. I'm not really sure which one. If he plays, he can go under, and that's a problem for me. Play that, and then I come down, but that's really not... I usually would just play... I think this is more important. I'm not 100% sure how to play this particular variation. I don't come up against this variation very much. When I actually approach here, I don't get the oath. I almost never get the O3 response. I think this is like the second time I've gotten it, so I don't remember which one you're regularly supposed to play. I mean, yeah, that is the right answer. So this is a little interesting. I guess I could connect, but then if he Atari's this way, I would lose the corner. If I play here, he comes up this way. Or if he comes... Yeah, I would have to redo that. Okay, I'm just going to review this afterwards. I think I probably should connect. I'm going to try it anyways. I actually don't know how to play this right, unfortunately. I do not know how to play this particular variation right. But that's the wrong play either way. You have to take this one. I think the right... Yeah, letting me do this is a big loss for him. So I think he had to play S3. I think I'm probably going to get the... I am probably going to get the... I am going to get Kata out. I'm actually going to get Kata out and try this. Because I don't exactly know how to play this particular variation. And it is kind of annoying that I don't know how to particularly play it. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and do this right now. So I don't exactly know how Katago plays this. I know he made a mistake here. That's the only thing that I'm aware of. I don't think I played this right either. Personally, don't think that was that big. So at this state, like, black doesn't have much territory. He has a lot of influence here. Um, oh, wait. Oh, that's not good. He can actually play... That's not the right play. He could have played R9, I think. If he's going to do that, I'm just going to do this. He can block both ways. That's not a good move. He can block both ways, obviously. This is also risky because he can play this here. I'm not too afraid of this because of this down here, but we'll see what he does. Yeah. Okay, that parallel doesn't work, which means I did screw up here to a significant degree, unfortunately. Huh. Yeah, I did play this wrong. This could come out all right for me, though. I did play this wrong. Okay, that actually solves a few of my problems. No, that doesn't work. I'm just gonna do this. This is not Gote, so this is Sente. I don't need to do this because if I do this, then he's not going. Well, he shouldn't respond. He might actually respond, but he shouldn't respond if I do that. So I'm actually not going to do that. This is actually fairly large. That invasion is actually, this invasion is not a good invasion at this point, but I'm going to try it and see what he does. Huh. going to be very interesting. Nah, this is a bad idea. This is a pretty bad idea for me to begin with. See how this turns out. I don't think this is going to turn out well for me, but we'll see how this turns out. Even if I succeed in this invasion, it's actually not a very good invasion for me because I've made him strong up here, and he can make a lot more territory up here. But in this case, I actually haven't succeeded in this invasion. I've got to figure, yeah, I've got to make better invasions in this. So that leaves the chance for this, but right now I don't think I should actually play it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I probably shouldn't have played it in the beginning. Yeah, that was a big loss for me. Those like even if I had been able to get the L18 move, even had I been able to get the L18 move, like it wouldn't have been good for me. As I said, I find handicap games like really hard. I do find handicap games like very difficult to play just because, you know, like they're handicapped first of all. And you're essentially trying to get back the points that you gave up at first. This I don't think is a good fight for him. Okay, that would be a bad idea because he can go this way first. But I can go this way. He would have to retreat this. So I can actually do this. I do have to be careful here because this is one eye. This is not alive yet. Okay. Like I said, this is dangerous for me because this isn't alive yet. I should probably just play the other thing. I don't want to give up that stone, but if I don't give up that stone, this could actually be pretty bad for me. There's not that much territory in there. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I could do this, but that doesn't help me very much. I can't, yeah, I have to do that. Okay. That's a really dangerous move. I have to connect this. Oh, that's horrible. You would definitely Atari this. I'm gonna go for a much more aggressive move here. I don't know if this is the right move, but I'm definitely gonna go after the much more aggressive move at this point. Um, I mean, you do this, you do these kind of things when you're playing handicap because you're just assuming that your fighting skills are going to be better than your opponent for the most part. Since you're assuming that your fighting skills are going to be, that's probably a bad move actually. Since you're assuming that you're just going to be better than your opponent at this, you kind of have to do stuff like this. That didn't make much sense. Can I do this? Tari. Okay, if he does that, he's dead. But what if he just does this? No, I'm fine. This is a little risky for me, obviously, because this isn't great here. And technically, there are a lot of things he could do. That's generally not one of them, though, because he can't cut. This is fine. I think this is fine. I am not 100% sure if that's fine or not, but I think it's okay. Remember, I can always cut here first. This doesn't work for him because this is There's like several ways I can kill this. So this does not actually work for him. I could go this way as well. Actually, no, I can't, because if I go this way and he extends down, actually, no, if I go this way, he extends down, I can just take it. Yeah, that's fine. So I can go this way. He can't extend down because this is Sente. So this is actually the safer way to take this. And I'm ahead by 1 liberty. So like the fact that he couldn't cut like means he can't actually do this. He should have cut here. But this is a big mistake by me. That invasion was just bad. I do try to do one live stream per like weekday. That's not going to do much. It's too weak. And since this is dead, I don't have any fear of just coming up top. There's very little way he can make 2 eyes down there. See, like, for something like this, I think a lot of people would be tempted to play this, but this is a much better move. It takes away his eye space, and he has no threat against any of your stuff here, so just take away the eye space. I think, yeah, I am going to change. I think I am actually going to change my channel layout to where I list the live streams, like at the top, because I think that's the way to go. This isn't really all that relevant. I can just come across. He can go down this way, forcing me to do that, but he's not going to be able to get 2 eyes down here, which makes it kind of pointless. If there was something waiting back, if this group was alive and he was waiting back here, this might actually have a purpose, but right now there's no purpose to that. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to snap back, because this isn't alive. I'm going to make sure that this is alive first. Once I make sure that this is alive, then, you know, we're good. Now it's alive. I don't need to answer this because if he Ataris I take, he does this, I can just go here. So I'm going to come out this way. Oh yeah, that's right. He can go that. Oops. Not a big deal though. Not really that big of a deal. That's a pretty big screw up. I forgot about that.
10, 9, 8.
Just gonna come out this way, I guess. Oh wait, this is Sente. Crap. That's Sente, isn't it? Yeah, it's Sente. I do actually have to. I do actually have to do this. Sente, I messed up again. I make the dumbest mistakes, both like when I'm playing these games and when I play like actual like games. It's no good. It's definitely not good. This is a mistake on his part, though. This is definitely a mistake on his part. Those four aren't actually that big, believe it or not. He doesn't actually have to answer those four. This is alive. He can't cut here. And even if he does cut, I mean, this is pointless. I'm just going to take these four. Because once you take the four, this group is alive and it's kind of irrelevant, and he can't cut here anyways. So I'm just going to take this four. So you're basically going for those three now. Okay, that's alive. So I am going to cut here. Remember, this is all alive right now, so it's not really that relevant. Yeah, I should probably block. I mean, this is all pretty big, honestly. Like, there's a bunch of points in here. Also, like, I can play that. And this is also a decent move here, although I'm not going to play that right now. I might as well just go ahead and finish it. You can block that one. There's not that many points there. I'll just go ahead and do this. It's a really weird way of doing something, but okay. If I do this, can this actually work? No, screw it. I'm just going to do that. I should have been blocked the other way. For sure. This is Sente for me because that's alive. And he has to connect this. So this was definitely worth it for me to do that. are going to take advantage of these things first because they're senteis. He didn't need to do that. Yeah, he didn't need to fix that. This is very big. Not sente though. I don't know if I did that the right way, by the way. Here you should always push first. You should definitely push first. Lost a couple of points there because he didn't push. Black was ahead after he took those three. I don't have to answer that, actually. Since you have this up here, when black does this, white as white, you can just extend here. Remember, your goal is not to... your goal is just to prevent him from making two eyes. So basically, if you just kill all his eye shapes, he can't do anything. If you just kill all his eye shapes, he cannot do anything. And you have a plethora of options. Because remember, you have this stone in here. So he can't actually do anything. You don't have to play by him every play. You just kind of got to make sure that he doesn't have any eyes. And if he doesn't have any eyes, you win. It's pretty simple. He doesn't have two eyes, you win. You could do this, but you could also just do this. No reason for complications at this point. He does not have two eyes, you win. It's a very simple concept. I think I'm significantly ahead enough to where I don't really care about like small points. So basically, yeah, just don't make any mistakes. If he plays again here, I'm going to ignore him because there's no eye here, obviously. And there's less than one eye down here. So not a big deal. Yeah, see, like that you just ignore because he has to take one move to make an eye down here. And then once he does, there's no eye here. So I'm actually going to play this. Not significant right now because I am ahead by a lot, but if it was a close game, it would be fairly significant. And these are the kind of things like in a close game that you really don't want to do. Because it could easily cost you the game if it's like one or two liberties. If it's like not one or two liberties, if it's like 1 or 2 points, something like that can easily cost you the game. That was probably not a good move, but whatever. What is his rank? You can see the ranks up here. He's 7Q, I'm 1 Dan. But it's a handicap 3 game because I passed twice first. Since I passed twice first, it's a handicap 3 game. I do the passing way of handicap because it lets people choose where they want to take their handicap. This is big. I should have connected the bottom. Definitely should have connected the bottom. It's worth more. There's no points here. If you connect the there's like absolutely no points there, so it's an extra point if he connects the bottom. There's nothing here. This is too long. If he does anything, okay. It's the right move. There's nothing there. He eventually has to connect both this and this. But right now he should block. Because this isn't Sente. He should either block or do this. Because it's not Sente right now. Yep. Blocking is Sente, so he blocks. He can play here for a point, or he can go up here for a point. Or just connect this. All those are fine. He doesn't need to do that right now. It's not, until I make another move, it's not really that threatening. So by doing this, he loses 1 point. So it is pretty intricate. Like the end game is important if the game is close. So like if the game was close, I would have probably gained 5 or 6 points in those last couple of moves. And that would have been game. See, like he didn't need to do that right away. You would actually do something like this because it's worth a point. So in that transaction, he lost about 2 to 3. He lost about 2 to 3 points. Why is there an error submitting the move? Yeah, OGS has some errors sometimes. It's fine. I can't. There we go. OGS has errors at times.
Yoyomi.
And there's points down here as well. So the thing is, like, you would fix this at the end when all the other points are actually when there's no more points on the board. Fixing this, taking an extra move while there's actually points on the board makes you lose points. This is like really annoying. The error submitting move thing is quite annoying. I have to refresh just to make sure like I'm not running out of time and losing. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, I don't think there's any points left. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna do this. Couple of definitely a couple of things that OGS has to fix. I think there's no more moves on the board that actually have points. The game was lost on this invasion over here because he was definitely ahead after I did this invasion here, because that invasion completely failed. So here, a lot of people would actually do this, but you just make sure he doesn't have any eyes and you're fine. Technically, I don't need to answer to this at all, but I'm going to just in case. When you've already won, when you're ahead a significant amount, you need to make sure you secure the game. You don't need to try to win by like as much as possible. You just need to secure the game. Once the game is secure, you're perfect. You're going to be fine. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just securing the game. There's no points left. We can actually just pass now. I think this is Japanese rules.
Pass.
Yeah.
Remove the dead stones. You have won.
So let's actually go review this game, because this game actually, he was ahead until pretty late in this game. There's a couple, like, I passed twice, so handicap 3. Yeah, a lot of people just play the regular star handicaps. I actually prefer something like this, as if I was playing black. I would just go ahead and do this. I mean, it's just more, honestly, it's just more territory for black. Not that it matters too much, because a lot of people do this like shoulder hit here. It's fine. It's not a big deal. That, I feel like it's always better just to secure the corner at first. Not any kind of big loss, though. See, there's not much potential for territory over here, so I think like white actually gains a little here. But he does get influence over there. I'm going to go here. Now, I don't actually know how to play this right. It could just be this, honestly. For black, it could. For white, it could just be this. And this is a perfectly fine result for white. So if you just want the easy method, you probably just do this. He might come up here, because if he goes somewhere else, you have the option to extend down and, you know, like just really box him in. And that doesn't feel very good for black. So that's a perfectly valid thing for white. So here, I feel like black is just better off doing something like that. Even trade, black's going to be better off for doing something like that. Yeah, this is a mistake. He's going to... So, this, I'm not really sure what I should do. I know, like... There's always that. I feel like, you know, the thing is, like, once he does that, I think this is the right move. I do think that's the right move right now. For white. It could be this, but I don't think so. I mean, this is white, that's white getting the corner, but I guess it could be that, because white has to do this. You don't want to play the ko right now, because there's no ko threats. So I guess this would be okay, but you still have this problem up here. So I suppose... I think it would just be, I think like once he does that, I think it would just be this. And if he does this, you can go up top. I don't know how great this is for white, though. That's a lot of territory that you're giving up. So it probably, I feel like the right move is probably just this move. I feel like that's probably like the right thing for white to do. So when I do this, he definitely just does this. This puts white in a pretty hard position. Yes, you can do this, but then, you know, like you're under attack over here. So I definitely made a mistake. I definitely made a mistake in connecting, but then he made a really big mistake by doing that. That loses him a lot of the advantage that 3 stones gave. So at this point, black is still ahead by a little bit, but not a huge amount. So this is where the game starts swinging back and forth. I think you should just probably do. I think you can. I think white has. Yeah, you have. Maybe not, because you might not have enough. But the thing is, like with this, you don't really have to play this because white has to come here and then you can just take it. So, because if white tries like to, let's say white tries to extend, black can always just push. So it's not. You should definitely just block that. This is a bad situation for white, because I can't. This is just bad. This is not alive, and this is just bad. If white could have tried to Atari here, but black can just extend. If white takes, black can just come back. Yes, white's alive here now, but this is a kind of a bad situation for white. So that's why that's why I did opted to do this. That's generally not a good idea. What you do is you force white to do this, and then you like jump out or something. These two stones aren't that important. Yes, white's connected, but you know, like black is just better off that way. Ended up doing this. That's a bad move. Because like the difference between this and what I just showed earlier is like this is Sente for white. That other thing was not Sente for white. But the thing is like I did this, so I did this. That's the correct move. That's a bad invasion. So like this is actually Sente for black right now. White would actually have to answer this. I don't exactly know how I would answer it. Maybe something like this, but then you can just go ahead and do that. So like this move 006 is very painful for white, and that could let you attack white's group because this is not alive in here. It is just a bad invasion by me overall. It's like a horrible invasion. So here I might have been better off doing this first, but the thing is, like I know this is pretty much lost, so I was like, you know what, just forget it. I'm gonna come out here and do this and get this advantage. I don't think he actually needed to connect right now, but that just gave me a free move. And like the fact that I got a free move here because he connected makes up for about half this loss, so it wasn't too bad. The thing is, a lot of people would actually just play this out until like it's completely dead. And that's one of the things that like lower ranked players need to learn. Like once you see a group is dead, just let it go. Don't play it out because you have a lot of co-threats in there. And also like there could be a possibility in the future it could be rescued. If you play it out completely, you know, it's not going to do you well. So I'm going to go here. That's not a good invasion. I mean, the thing is if you just go here, you can get this territory, and I still have to like, you know, I still have to connect here. This is not a good invasion. It puts you too much at risk. And I can just easily go under here. Or I didn't, like, if I really wanted to, I could probably just do something like this. I mean, and black would be kind of lost. Because if you go here, I'm just going to attack you up here. And this is going to be kind of hard to live. So this is not a good invasion because there's not that much territory right here. If you want to destroy the Moyo more, like you could just come out and invade directly. And that actually might have been the best move, just to invade directly. Here, you're not making things better for yourself, so it's not really that important. I feel like coming across the top here is a lot better. It's hard to invade. I mean, like, I know that you might be afraid that white's going to invade this way, but I mean, I think white has to remember that his group here isn't actually alive yet. He's still missing one eye somewhere out there. So that's always going to be a worry for white. And then you can just attack like these two as well. So, I mean, like, white might do something like this, but then you can just get the territory as well here while reducing his shape. So here, I think the best move is either to directly invade or to come out this way. Because a move like this builds the shape of both sides, so that's why this is important. And obviously, directly invading destroys the territory. And that particular one is kind of hard to kill. That's probably not the best move I can make. I'm not exactly sure how to play there. Maybe just something a little bit more passive, like something like this, just to get this territory. I mean, it is big, but it's not as big as it looks. That's not a good invasion. I would just do this, and then just invade here. Because now with these two stones, this stone is going to be really, really hard to kill. So that's gonna be that's gonna be the move there. I was actually like trying to calculate like how I would respond to this move. I was thinking about this. This ladder doesn't. I don't think this ladder works. I'm pretty sure this ladder doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. Since the ladder doesn't work, white could be in a little bit of trouble because he does have to back out, and if white even if you do something like this and you back, like this is a ladder, so I kind of had an answer for that, but not entirely. But that would have still been, that's definitely the right move to go. Maybe you just follow on out here or something. I don't think this is dead, but see, the thing about this is, like, if you give him that, I think it's okay, because let's say he does this. You can just come out here, and now this group is pretty much dead. I mean, he might have a way to live because of that, but it would be kind of difficult. Right, so, like, you can actually let him get this territory as long as you kill this group over here. So, white still has to watch out for that. That's a really bad move. That lets me get that initiative here. Of course, I'm just going to be trying to kill the entire thing. I'm very strong here. This needs to be connected. Like, you do need to calculate this out to see that you don't have enough liberties. This is going to die. And at this point, this is just dead. You can't have enough liberties because I can just go straight down. I'm going to double Hane this. Maybe something... This actually... But if you do this, I'm just going to extend down. This actually might work, because now you can actually do that. So... No, actually, no, I would just go this way. But see, the thing is, like, the difference here is you can take these two. See, like, this is still a loss for black overall, but this is still a loss for black. But you can see this is very, very different from how that came out. So the correct move here was to extend down. No, because this is still I guess, and then like if I do this, you can go here, forcing me to take this, and then you could connect here. If I extend downward, then you can cut here. So I would actually have to Atari this. And then go this way. But then at this point, you can do this. So, or even do something like this, right? So this is, in the end, this is a lot better for black. That's how it should have ended up. White gets this, but black gets this down here. So I think that's kind of how it should have ended up. If you extend, like, black should have, on this, like, black definitely should have extended. I feel like black should have extended downward here. You still can't disconnect right now. I guess I can go down here. But then this would actually be problematic because black can go here. I think it's a little bit more complicated. It's a little bit more complicated than this. There's a lot of things down here, but I'm pretty sure the right move was to actually extend down. I'm almost sure the right move, C16. I don't know the correct terminology of armpit moves or hip moves, but like I'm pretty sure this is the right move. Because now if black connects, then there's a cut at F15 and also like the move at B11. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure extending down is the right move. White would have to do something like this. And even if white does something like this, I don't know. This does not. I mean, like this. There's a lot of changes down here. If you just extend down. Oh wait, no, you can. Never mind. Yeah, so black can do that. Black can Atari here, and then you can't connect this way, but you can do this. White can do that. Black can do that. Atari this, and then there's a ko here. Now even if black, let's say black wins this ko somehow, white can just do this, but then black can take this, white does this, and that's alive. So that's kind of like how this turns out. It's still good for white because he gets all this, but black actually has like a lot of options down here, and white's territory is a little bit gone. So that's kind of like how this works. So black extends down, white Ataris. Now you can't connect, otherwise I Atari this way. But black extends down, white does this. Black connects here with a ko. White takes the ko right now. And then, or you can fight this ko. So this should end up in, like, if black extends, this should end up in ko somehow. So either way, that's the wrong move. So I'm just going to kill this. And this isn't going to work because I'm too strong here. So there was a big missed opportunity right there. Now it doesn't work because I can just Atari that. And realistically, the rest of this game is kind of cleanup. I made a mistake right there, but the rest of this game is pretty much cleanup. So a lot of good fighting stuff here. This is a bad invasion, but at the beginning, like this was like the fight that kind of like made the game equal. And it's just one of those things that you got to learn. Like, here, that's going to be the best move. I can't extend downward because then you'll extend downward. I just have to do this. And then if you make me do this, you can always attempt to fight the ko right now, which I wouldn't because it's the beginning of the game, obviously. You can just come here and, like doing this is still an option. So it's not very good for white. So definitely a big mistake in the corner. I made a mistake invading down here, but but one of those things from like learning from my mistake down here is like know how to cut your losses. Don't play it out until the end. And of course the mistake on the invasion, both here and this way. And just knowing one of the things is just knowing that at least in my personal belief that this is a bad invasion, and coming over top is probably like a little bit bigger. Or if you want to do that, you can do something like this. Oh, this would give white a free move, but then this cut is a huge problem for white. So white would have to answer, and then coming over the top is fine. Or if you don't want to come over the top, you can actually just invade. That's a lot harder to deal with than the other invasion. So that's the lesson for here. Like and subscribe, hit the bell notifications button, and I'm gonna play another game, 5 to 12 Q. I don't play under 12 Q because it's like I'm not very good at teaching like more beginner type people. I'm definitely better at like the intermediate type teaching. So I'm gonna wait for about 10 minutes to see if anyone actually accepts my challenge. If someone accepts my challenge in the next 10 minutes, 5 to 12 Q, I will actually play another game. It'll be, I adjust the handicap based on what your rank is. I don't give the full handicap because I'm not
Game
actually very good
started.
at, I'm not very good at, oh, okay, someone's playing white against me. I guess I can't give a handicap now because I'm black. Okay, playing the 3, I'm probably going to play another game after this. Playing the 3-4, you never want to do that. It's too low. So this never actually works out in white's favor if you just extend in one direction. You do not Atari here. You extend in one direction. You can either, I'm going to extend in the other direction. This puts him in a huge bind. I'm going to play another game after this because I don't... The thing is, like, in these set games, you should actually be able to... You definitely should be able to rule out provisional players because provisional players don't have a rank. So they can, like, be really, really good or, like, really, really bad. Most of them are pretty bad, but there's a couple that I played that are really good. I'm just going to take this. White gets nothing up here. I don't know if I'm going to review this game because I'm kind of reviewing it as I go along. And if someone is playing like this right off the bat, there might not be that much to review outside of what I'm saying right now. This is not something you extend out right now. You would just cut your losses and go on. I don't have to respond to that. I'm just going to do that. I don't have to respond to that either. Do I? Actually, no, I don't. You can go here, like, I mean, I can just do this. It's not that big of a deal. This is a beginner. I can't really review these kind of games. I really cannot review these type of games because I'm gonna end up getting like the entire board. That's why I think like that's why I actually think provisional rankings like should not be able to accept these type of games. Because this is, by the way he's playing, this is obviously like a very newbie beginner. And it, I don't have to respond to that either. I mean, the thing is, it's just really hard for me to teach, good Go this way because I'm gonna play. I'm probably gonna play another game after this. Usually, I might not like usual. I might not even respond to that. Let's secure the corner here.
You have won.
Don't really think he knows the rules of the game, so I'm gonna play another game because that was too fast and that didn't really make any sense. I'm gonna go for another game, 5 to 12 Q. Like, there's a reason I picked that There's a reason I picked the 5 to 12 Q range, because like at 12 Q you kind of like know a lot of the basics of the game, so a game doesn't end super fast, and I can actually give a pretty decent. I can actually give a pretty decent. Like handicap and have it be a decent game. So yeah, I'll wait 10 minutes to see if anyone accepts this at 5 to 12 Q. It's sometimes like the thing about OGS I don't like is it's really hard to get games sometimes. Like especially like even when you're teaching or even when I try to play regular games, it's actually really hard to get a game. There's just not enough players here. And I wish there were more because I really like OGS's interface. OGS's interface is great. It's just that there's not enough players in any given specific range. I'll wait until 4:30. You know, a lot of the corner Jos. I do find that in the 5 to 12 Q range, a lot of people don't know enough corner Josekis. So I think like if a lot of the weaker players actually learned the correct corner Josekis, I feel like I would have a much harder time beating them. The one game I did lose on handicap was against a 7Q with handicap 3, but he knew the corner Josekis, so I wasn't able to take advantage of that. So definitely waiting for someone to accept the challenge. But you know, if no one accepts the challenge, I do have to run some errands, so I'll wait for like 8 more minutes. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too many people actually interested in playing today. Usually I don't have too hard of a time picking up a game. But now I'm actually having much more of a hard time picking up a game just for today. Usually it's not too bad though. So, basic concepts. So I'm not actually great at teaching basic concepts, just not my strength. But my dad was the one that taught me. My dad was the one that taught me, and he's very good at teaching basic concepts. He's also a much stronger player than I am, though. That's the other thing. My dad is a Chinese 6'7" Dan, so like he was very good at teaching all levels, whereas I'm just much better at teaching at teaching at the more intermediate level. I'm trying to like when I was much younger, like you know, I was like 3 or 4 Dan, so I'm trying to get back up to that rank. But I'm also trying to incorporate some of the AI play into my play, so it's kind of like jinxing my play at this when I try to play regular games. A couple more minutes, I'll wait. But if no one wants to play, then you know I'm gonna have to.
Game started.
There we go. I'm okay with the thing is like I'm gonna play handicap 4.
Pass. Pass.
So I think he's going to go with the traditional handicap 4 play.
Pass.
Above 3 or 4 is going to be very difficult for, like, to me it gets a lot more difficult above handicap 3 and handicap 4. This is not a good idea by me. It's definitely not a good idea by me. Because now he has this play, but since that's actually open, I can go elsewhere. So I'm gonna play here first. This is just kind of a move that I do. It's not like a, it's not necessarily a good or bad move. No, you definitely block over here. You give me a big advantage. You give me a really, really big advantage by just taking away your corner. And this shape is just really poor. If there's nothing on this, I think he probably lost like at least 6 or 7 points on that side. Because remember, he's not actually getting any points here. He's just basically letting me claw all the points on the corner. So obviously, like, R3 is going to be the right move. So I should actually start fixing these things by, like, playing here at this point. Because a clamp would actually be really uncomfortable for me. And the thing is, if I can get him to actually answer with this, then that's a big victory for me. So if I was black, I would not answer these. Because, like, by just playing stuff like this, by essentially playing stuff like this, like, I haven't quite pulled it back to even, but he's actually lost a lot of points because his moves are just not very efficient. I'm not going to answer that. But at a point like this, I do find it hard to figure out which moves actually have the most value. Because there are just not that many big moves on the board right now. Maybe something like this. Because, like, there's not a lot of, it's difficult because there's not a lot of moyos that you can actually make in this situation. I mean, he can make a moyo here, but it is kind of stunted. I'm going to come up. There is a danger in doing this because he can play J16. So he's definitely trying to make this moyo up here. But there are consequences in trying to make this moyo. Also, I'm playing a really risky game right now. Because he can come... I mean, I can just go downward, I guess. It's not a big deal. I'm going to retreat because I can do that. He is definitely trying to build the influence here. But it's not going to be that big. He gave up a lot of points down here to do it. That's just not a good move. You have to block that. This also makes this Sente. You have to be aware of, like, when you're building the influence, what you're giving up. You're giving up several points Sente here. And there's still, like, some stuff you have to fix out here. So I'm going to jump out here, and by jumping here, by jumping out here, it does take away a lot of the value of this. I wasn't going to go anywhere there anyways, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm actually going to start out this way right now. He has to connect. He has to connect here as well. And then I'm going to come out here. If he Ataris this, I can easily just... See, that stone's really not that important. I could connect it, but it's really not that important. I could just jump, but then, like, I'm just going to connect it. I was thinking he would actually Atari this way. So, I mean, like, the moyo that he built here is kind of useless now because I've basically kind of destroyed it. I'm actually going to fix this problem down here because I don't want him to play J16 right now. That's not that big. Now I've got an option because there's moyo up here that I might be able to build. Not very much though. I will say, like, there's not much moyo I have to build, but there is some. Yeah, you always Atari first. Now I can't build it because I actually let him have the Atari. Okay, that's an obvious mistake. That's not something you do. I'm not really threatening this down here. I'm obviously building this moyo up here. So because he did that, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Because now, like, I can get at least some territory over here. I'm pretty sure white's already ahead in this case. I'm pretty sure at this point white's already ahead. He's trying to build the moyo down here, but, like, it's just not going to work for the most part. Here you would definitely bump here first because it's too big to let white get all the... It's way too big to let white get all the Hanes here. Here I probably just wouldn't respond because it's not big enough. So the thing is, like, you kind of let me get this, right? So now I have some territory here. And the thing is, like, if he plays here, then I might just kind of settle for, you know, like the top territory. I don't have to get all of it. That's not really that useful. So I'm just going to come here, and now I have this territory. You do generally want to play forcing moves when you're making moyos. I mean, this game may not be that exciting. That's not really worth all that much. This is actually worth more than this particular stone here. This stone's worth 2 points. The extension downward's worth more than 2 points. That's why I did that. I don't know why you would do that. You would definitely come down here. This is actually pretty big. This group is alive, but the stone at this point is pretty big. I would Hane here. I would have Hane there. You know, just in case there's some kind of, like, weird thing here, I'm going to connect. I don't think I needed to. There might be something here. I don't think so, though. Once you get above 6 or 7K, there is a pretty big jump in, like, in how good players are once you get above that. They do tend to make a lot less mistakes above like that 6-7K rank. The Hane on the corner is always worth a little more because he can't really block. This isn't Sente. Okay, it is Sente now, but he should have blocked. So one weird thing about this, if you're playing lastly for points, if you're actually playing for points here on the Sente, you should actually play B19 instead of A19 for the most part. And you should play B19 instead of A19 is because like you're actually fighting for this last point right here. If you play B19, whereas if you play A19, he can play B19. So it's actually beneficial. It's actually more beneficial for white to play B19 than A19 because then you're fighting for this last ko. Whereas if you're just playing A19, you're giving him that point. So that's just a small thing there. That's just a small thing there. Small thing of note there. So I'm not going to do this because there might be that. I'm going to go ahead and just connect this just to make sure I don't make mistakes. I'm not going to play B19 right now because I don't want to fight the ko. I don't think this game's particularly that close. But if the game was close and I thought it was just a couple points swing, like at the end I would actually play B19 instead of A19. He went ahead and played it, so I guess I don't have that option. But if that was the last move, that's actually what I would do. I also have to, I do have to connect here. It's fine. I do have to connect here if he does that. So I'm just waiting for him to connect here, and I have to do this. Because if I don't, then he can play here. If I went ahead and did this, he can play here and then cut here, and then I would be in trouble.
Pass.
OGS has a couple of server issues right now. It's not flowing as neatly as it usually is. I guess I can just do this. There's nothing in here. I think I'm up by like 20, 25
Remove
points.
the dead stones.
Okay, like 60 points. Okay, yeah, I suck at
You
counting.
have won.
So this is handicap 4. I think handicap 5 is the largest handicap I'll actually play. I don't really like big handicaps. So I'm gonna take a note. So like you give 4 stones, even with a Komi, black is up by about 40 points at the beginning. So I just slowly chip away. I do just slowly chip away at it. I feel like, for these games, like it's just easier if you just, for handicap games, it is better for black to play like F17 because that is a fair trade. And if you take fair trades in a handicap 4 game, you're eventually just going to win. You should try to leave it up to me to try to claw the points back. This isn't a good move by me. So here, black doesn't really have to respond if black doesn't want to. I think it's better for black if you just play here. Yes, this is big, but not as much as an extra move at the beginning. Or, I mean, if you want to, you can play the ko. It's not... I definitely wouldn't play the ko right now, but you can if you really want. I just wouldn't. But that gives me a significant advantage, right? That gives me a little bit of an advantage. I clawed back like 2 points on that thing. on this sequence. That's it. See, that loses about 7 points. You must go down here. Usually what happens is I go here and then you go here. At, during the handicap game, though, I would probably play here. Or maybe even like more, I would play here and just see what black actually does. But I'm more than happy to take the corner. And like you doing the same thing here, like the advantage went down from 38 to like 25, 24 just off that. You do the same thing in this corner. So off those trades, you just lost 21 points off the 4 trades. You're still up by 17.5, but not nearly as much as you were. And I have the Sente, so I'm going to go here first. And every time you answer me, you lose a couple of points too. So this is not worth answering. You would definitely do this and put pressure on these groups and force me to answer. Because this, I mean, it's really hard for me to kill this thing. You have the B2 move. I can't just disconnect. Like the most I could do is probably this. And if you do this, it's very hard for white to kill. So I would definitely pressure white as I'm doing this. So like, since you're answering all my moves, like you're losing a couple points every time you answer my moves.
Challenge received.
I can't play it again today, unfortunately. So I can't play it today. So here, I really don't know if I would answer this. I would probably do this. If white does this, you can just do this. It's not that big of a deal. So I would definitely do this if I was black. Letting me get like all 4 of these. Now the game is pretty close to equal. I'm still ahead by a little bit. I'm not going to answer this because there's just not much to answer up here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. That might have been a bad move. I'm probably better off just doing that. I don't actually know what the biggest move is right now. Maybe it could be something like this. That's fine. So, yeah, that move is actually a pain in the ass for me right now because I mean, that move is a little bit of a pain in the ass for me right now. I wouldn't do it right now, actually, but you can always save this for later. So remember, like, when white does this, you always have a move like this. Right now, you probably wouldn't do it, but still. So here, I did a mistake. I was greedy for the points. I should have just done this. And then come up. Let you get this, but destroying this Moyo over here. I was greedy because and it is a handicap game. In a regular game, I would not have played R11 because that's not a good move. But I was just greedy to get more points. So here, like you remember, like you always have this move. It forces black to do this. And look at all the Moyo you're building out here now. So remember, like when I do this, you should play this. I mean, that's how you forcing moves is how you build a Moyo. Forcing moves is 100% how you build a Moyo. Yes, I do get some of this up here. But I mean, now like that Moyo is just a lot scarier, and you probably wouldn't do that. You probably would do this. Like this Moyo is just much scarier from this side. I was greedy. I'm greedy because I don't think my opponent knows how to play this right. If I was playing an even game, I would definitely not play this way because I would lose so much influence up here. Here, you just probably wouldn't do anything. You would go somewhere else. This doesn't really help. Having me headbutt into this does not help you. That obviously gets me a Sente because then like I can kill these two. If you like don't move here, like you can't come out this way now. So you would have to give me these 2 stones. I wouldn't play this. I don't know if I would play this right now. Actually, you know what? Here I would probably just play this at first. And then if you didn't see it, then you would be in a lot of trouble. But I think like most decent players would just, like give me those 2. And then do that. But that's still a lot of points in here. So that's why it's kind of Sente. And I get to jump out here. And this is important because it destroys Moyo. And it kind of like, it definitely helps with this stone. Because now like, It definitely helps over here, having an extra stone. Doesn't quite fix the problem, but it helps over there. This doesn't look like it achieves anything, but it's actually an okay move. Um, so, I mean, I might have been better off just not. I could have just left this alone and not played it because it doesn't matter which way you Atari. I have options, but or I could have just connected. This was not a particularly good fix. I was kind of looking for this. I would have probably just given probably would have just given that to build some outside influence for myself here. But either way, that's a weird way to Atari. I don't think I should have connected. I think I should have just jumped. So yeah, I should have blocked on this one, but either way, that's not a good move. You don't necessarily have to respond here. There's no points in here. So just doing something like this and then maybe like coming out here might actually be the best option for black. Here you would probably just do this. Remember, there's no points in here. You're not really protecting anything. And there's absolutely no point in doing that. This stone isn't very big, first of all. You can just give it up. And you can see like I'm building this moyo out here, so you would do something like this to reduce the moyo. I mean, this is just not very big. I think I shouldn't have fixed that right now. It's not really all that important. And there's no threat to this anymore, so I probably wasted a move there. That's just not very big right now. This is like, something like this is going to be a lot bigger. So I'm doing this to see like how he actually plays. I think I would have, like, black should definitely play here. Yeah, it might give me the Hane, but I mean, this is better than me getting all the points over here. But since you went downward, I think I probably should have came up if I was going to build a moyo. That's a huge mistake. Either connect up here or connect down here. Probably connect down here right now. If you connect down here, I don't have this move. But since you did this, I have this move. And realistically, at this point, it actually might be better. It actually might be better for you to sacrifice the bottom and get the top. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, I get that. That's a bad move. There's no threat to there. Like, this is Sente always, so it doesn't... you would definitely play here. That would make a huge difference. I eventually get this. See, like, this time I'm not going over here because I don't want you to get the thickness on top. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But you gave me that anyway. So here, I think the appropriate response is definitely this. I think you're just giving me too many points by letting me Hane all this. And I would not have responded there. I would have definitely come up here and try to reduce this. There's not enough points in here for me to actually respond. So he blocks. I'm going to do this. So I end up getting this territory. So here, I think there's still potential if... It may not be that much, though. It may not be that potential, so I guess there's not that much potential here. But after I do this territory is kind of sealed in. It's hard for him to do much. This is not a good move for black. This is definitely not a good move for black because there's not much territory you're gaining here, and you're just solidifying my territory in here. And of course, getting the Gote is really bad because that just gets me to fix all my other problems here. See, the thing is, like, when you're playing these moves, you're basically strengthening my grip on this territory here, and you're not gaining too much for yourself. So instead of playing, when I do this, instead of playing all these moves, just take this stone here. The stone's going to be a lot more points than what you can gain here. Because remember, like, all these points in the corner are yours now. I mean, that's how you do the point counting. Also, like when he plays this, I will extend down because letting him get the Hane is actually a much bigger for him than me just extending downward. You don't take, you generally wouldn't take the stone. This is exactly 2 points, and it's too small right here. So, I mean, you would probably take this. This is much, much bigger than this. You don't have to answer here, and I wouldn't answer here. Just take either take this or play this move. I mean, I ended up winning by more than 60 points, mainly because you let me get all the senteis. And that's just like how the game finishes. So it's like this game was not one big fight. It was just like little things, especially like knowing the corner Joseki, the Josekis that's like really, really important. And this is another one where like, the game was a lot of times won and lost on this corner. Like it's like you did the same thing all 4 of these corners. When white does this, when you have to block, you're going to lose a lot of points if you do not block. So knowing the corner Joseki is very, very important. And just like basic corner, just basic corner blocks, very important. So that's going to be the lesson for today. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow, maybe like the next day, depending on if I have time or not. So the thing is, like if you lose 8 or 9 points on each of the corners, it's going to be very easy to get that Komi back, to get that back for me. So thanks.